All right, so we are super excited because we actually have two very special guests on the quote unquote virtual futon with us this week. Not only is it Judy and Ann from Butt Boy, the Butt Boy, but they have their own YouTube show that they co-produce, write, direct, act in. So welcome to the show, Kristina Clifford and Shelby Dash. How are you guys doing?
Hi, thank you so much. That was so nice. I like being on this virtual futon.
Yeah, me too.
The good thing about the virtual futon is that it's not broken, while the real futon is destroyed.
Absolutely broken. Always.
It's now just a bed.
I think it would be inappropriate to interview people on the broken futon, aka now just a shitty bed.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It still serves some purpose, at least.
Yeah, of course.
So to start off, I just wanted to ask you, how did the two of you get started working together? Did you two know each other beforehand, or was it something that you met on a project or anything like that?
It was actually kind of a gradual thing. We met in the acting class, I want to say 8 to 10 years ago. I mean, that ages us for sure, but I think it was around that time. And we kind of knew the other one wanted to produce content, and we just kind of started doing it. The first ones were really bad, like embarrassingly bad. I think one of them was called Vampire Diaries.
Oh my God, that one is so embarrassingly bad. It's just like, it's us and one other girl watching the show Vampire Diaries, which was like a huge hit at the time. And like, we're making fun of it. And it's not funny. It's bad. The background noise is atrocious. It's not cute.
But I guess you got to be bad before you get better. So they say.
So they say.
So we ended up doing this one video and posting it to Instagram. And for some reason, this was before like everything was super saturated on Instagram, but I remember it getting like 10,000 views or something, like really quickly. And we were both like, hey, that's interesting. So we're like, maybe we should do more of these. So that's kind of how it snowballed. And then we started writing together. And so, I guess it's just been like a gradual courtship, if you will.
A long-term relationship.
Yeah.
Domestic partners, except we don't live together.
Yeah. So I wasn't expecting you guys to actually watch our videos.
Neither was I.
Oh no, we came prepared. Although I haven't seen this vampire one. Now I need to know what it was all about.
No, I think I took it down because I was like, this cannot see the light of day.
Oh no.
It's like the lighting is bad, like the camera stuff isn't great. Like it's just all around.
We're both like in fat stages when we shot it. It's like not good.
You got to start somewhere. For us, we have our first episode. I was like, dude, we cannot release this. This sounds awful. Like we sound like a bunch of amateurs. Like I'm scrapping it. And we joke about it now on the show. We'll talk about like, should we release our Overlord review from like 2 years ago?
You should.
The first episode's really bad, but then our second episode's possibly worse.
Oh yeah. I think we all have a rough start in the beginning.
Absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
But it does, like you even saying that makes me want to go back and watch the first one you guys did, or listen to the first one you guys did.
Oh, the first one we have posted, it's a long one. We've shortened our show up substantially because damn it's boring. Like in the beginning, it's pretty boring. We have to admit.
Yeah, it's not very good.
That's the other. We definitely learned how to cut stuff out over the years.
Mm-hmm.
You got to trim
anywhere you can. But yeah, no, of course, like we wanted to do our research. We wanted to make sure we were coming correct. So we watched a lot, almost all, I'm assuming, of the YouTube videos.
Oh no!
Now, our show is called Two Dudes Movie Reviews with Sky and Colin as a full title. And I noticed on YouTube, you guys had the banner up top, Kristina and Shelby. How was it trying to figure out whose name comes first? Because I know Colin and I almost had to kill each other.
That's
I don't think we even talked about it.
I don't think we did either. I think we still kind of switch back and forth for different things. I mean, I think Kristina and Shelby sounds better, but
I do too.
really?
Yeah, I do too. And it's my Google account, so it's like my name shows up for like the actual name of the account or whatever. So figure the least I can do is put Christina's name first, you know?
That's
I
fair.
think what we do swap it every so often. There's no set standard for us.
Yeah, that's true. But it does sound better, Kristina and Shelby. Got that hard K at the top.
Yeah.
There you go. It's also alphabetical. So I was like, maybe that is the winner. It's like, let's just go alphabetical so that nobody has hurt feelings.
I think we should have no set standard and put Colin first.
I don't know. I don't know. Let's see. We'll see.
How did you guys decide?
I think it was mostly because I introduced the show. So it would have been weird for me to be like, welcome to the show with, and then he has to go and then I go. So I think it was just more of a rhythm thing for our introduction.
Totally. That makes sense.
I feel that.
How did you guys meet?
Me and Sky, actually, we used to play in bands together. But when we first met, we were playing in different bands. And our bands just always played at the same shows, coincidentally. And then
Amazing.
Yeah, and then eventually we ended up working on something together. But on the way to band practice, we'd always just be like talking about movies, and we'd be like, man, it'd be really cool to do like a podcast or like a YouTube channel where we could like talk movies. And we're like, yeah, but fortunately we got this stupid band bogging us down, and then the band broke up. So now we're doing this.
Oh, I love that.
That's a great story.
Can I just know real quick what instrument you guys play?
I play drums. Sky plays guitar.
Nice. Okay.
Sick.
Yeah. Once we realized we weren't going to make it as rock stars, we were like, you know what? Let's just be podcasters.
The next best thing.
I hear that.
I can do it in my pajamas. Who the fuck cares?
Yeah. That's the natural next step.
Of course.
So Butt Boy comes from a Tiny Cinema skit, which you two have, acted in and worked in for the last 2 or 3 years. How did you guys get involved in Tiny Cinema?
Well, when Kristina and I started making videos together more regularly, they just, Ryan, who's the co-writer of Butt Boy, DM'd me and he was like, hey, would you ever want to be in a video with us? And I was like, yeah, sure. So then I think the first video I did with them, I mean, I don't know if you guys have seen it, but it's the one about the iPhone face swap.
Oh, yeah.
That's the first one that I did with them. And I showed up at this guy's apartment and I was like, might die today, but it ended up being great. And they're honestly like, when you start doing Instagram videos and stuff for anybody that, or any kind of content, especially like when it was fairly new, there's so many like fucking, sorry, I don't know if I can curse or not.
No, you can
curse away.
Yeah.
Okay, I can curse away. Okay. There's so many fucking like unprofessional weirdos and like I once shot a video that was like a 1-minute video and I was there for 8 hours and it was like the worst thing ever. So when I met them, I was like really impressed by how like they were all so cool and nice and kind and super professional. We were in and out and obviously everything they do looks amazing. I was like, holy shit. And from there on, we just started like if they needed somebody in a video, they would hit up me or Kristina. And
I think the first video I did with them, they were actually doing something for, what was it? Something professors.
The one we did together?
Yeah, the one we did where we were taking Molly.
Yeah, at my house. Yeah.
Yeah.
For the video, of course.
Yes, of course.
No, not really.
Probably could have, but I remember them. I was like, God, these guys are geniuses. Like just the way they knew how to work the like they were just professional AF. And I was like, oh, they're geniuses. We got to keep that contact.
Got to keep it. Yeah. And when I found out that they were making a movie, they had mentioned to me like in passing, like, oh, there's kind of this mom role that like you might be good for, but honestly, I think you're too young. And I was like, fuck that. No, I'm not. And I remember like they were coming to my house to shoot a video and I cut my hair. I had really long hair and I cut it into like a mom bob that day, so that when they came, they would see me looking like mom as fuck, and then hopefully I would get it.
I never knew that. That's hilarious.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think because I had been in a few of their videos, and obviously me and Shelby are tight. And I remember Shelby, I think you were like over for some reason working on something, and Tyler had contacted you and said that the woman they were going to use for the Judy role had like dropped out or couldn't do it or something. And so I was like, I'm in. I'll do it. I think that lady was also supposed to be a little older, but makeup.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Makeup.
That's the point of movie magic.
Exactly.
Totally.
Also, I like mom as fuck as like an aesthetic. I like that as a that's my look now. I don't know if I can pull it off, but
it's a look. You're serving looks when your mom is fuck.
yeah. Well, obviously you two both have a background in writing and particularly like in comedy. So when you're working on Butt Boy, did you have any opportunities to kind of add anything to your characters or kind of improv while you're on the set, or what was that like?
Yeah, we did. I mean, anytime I've worked with Tiny Cinema and their whole crew, they always send a script, but they always are very open to like improv. And if you don't want to say something or if something doesn't sound right to you, say it in whatever way you want to say it. So yeah, they are super open to it. Obviously, like Butt Boy isn't it's funny, but it's taken very seriously, so there's not a lot of room for like there's a lot of room for improv, but there wasn't a lot of like slapstick improv. But yeah, there's definitely like a lot of freedom.
Yeah, they're pretty great with that. I feel like they're super like comfortable to work with. You know what I mean? They like got your back. Yeah, I didn't really have any lines, boy, but
yes, you do. Okay, can I just say something really quick about your performance in the movie? That last scene where you're running to see your kid, I'm like taking over like it's my podcast. I'm like, hello world. That last scene where you're running to see your kid, I know you, and that scene still makes me emotional. Like, I think she's so good in that scene, and usually when you're watching someone it's like hard to kind of forget that they're your friend in the valley, but I think you honestly like make the emotional aspect of the movie in that scene.
Oh, that's so sweet.
I was going to say the Judy character actually has like a really good emotional payoff towards the end of the movie. You just touched on this though, but the movie obviously has a really dark tone. Everything in it is played super straight, even though the subject matter is ridiculous. I wanted to know what like the atmosphere was kind of like on set working on it, because, normally with Tiny Cinema, everything is very over the top, but this is all being played off very dark.
I feel like at least the time I had on set, like it was super, like behind the scenes at least, was super light, and like everyone was having the best time. Everybody knew everybody, just like friends hanging out basically. But when it comes to the tone, I think they just knew exactly what they wanted. And I mean, I think that was the only difference between like behind the scenes and like what they actually wanted for the tone of the movie.
Yeah. I mean, it feels like we've all known each other for a while now. And even then it felt like it's got kind of like a family feeling to it. I mean, obviously like I was still so nervous, but it definitely had like a family feel to like the cast and crew. And I just kind of treated all my scenes as drama scenes. They are drama scenes.
Yeah.
So,
yeah. Yeah. I think the one time I was on set, or the one where he's in the tree looking in the window, I think it was like Tyler Rice's birthday or something. And I remember just thinking like everyone's saying happy birthday to him. And it was just like really cute. And everyone was so great. Like even like the makeup artist and everyone was just so tight.
That's awesome.
I agree.
That made it really nice.
Sorry about my cat, guys.
Never apologize for a cat. Cats don't give a fuck.
He also wants to be a part of this podcast. So he
said, what has he been in?
He has been in many an Instagram story. his scenes were cut from the film, but he is still a star at heart.
Well, seeing what they did with the dog in this film, it's probably better that your cat was cut.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. No, he actually wasn't in it. I was just kidding, but his scenes probably better because he doesn't give two fucks.
But Marty is a star, the dog.
Marty is a star.
Well, we tried to get him, but his agents were really tight about what they wanted him to do next.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
you can't pin him down.
Yeah, he was really hard to get through. I can imagine he was difficult to work with too then.
No, he's probably actually he's probably the lowest maintenance member of the cast.
So what was your reaction like when you got to see the finished product?
I mean, I knew it was going to be great, so I wasn't surprised that it looked amazing. I was just like, I remember watching it because I think Tyler had given us like a Vimeo pre thing because you guys were at the premiere in where were you guys? Fright Fest?
Austin.
Austin.
Fantastic. Yeah.
And we couldn't go, so he gave us his Vimeo password and we watched it from our living room. But I just remember being impressed as always, and Shelby did fucking fantastic, and I was just kind of like so excited to watch it. It's just awesome to see like their passion come to fruition.
Yeah, it was pretty crazy to see it all come together. And I always feel like I knew that it was going to look amazing, but it's just so crazy what Tyler and them were able to do with like $125,000. Like it looks like a $2 million movie. And I'm also going to take my cat out for 2 seconds. So if I don't answer, that's why.
Okay.
Yeah, and Bill, the cinematographer, he's just exceptional as well. And like, I feel like Tyler and him work so well together with their vision. So I don't know. I all the props to these guys because they're really outstanding in every way.
After seeing what they did with just a 1 minute short turning it into a feature film, are there any characters or skits that you guys have done that you think would make a good movie?
Oh, that's a good question. Actually, one of my favorite tinies is with Bill, the cinematographer. I don't know if you guys have seen this one, but it's called Pace Boy. And it's about how Bill has a problem with pacing back and forth. And he actually does this in real life, and they give him shit about it. But we were actually talking one time, and we were like, we should do a movie about Pace Boy and Pace Girl and how they find love. But like, I just remember having that conversation. I'm like, I'm in. I'll be the Pace Girl if you guys want.
She is cast. She is fully cast. Yeah, I don't think we have any. I don't think there's one that we ever thought we would turn into like a full-on movie. The only thing I could think of would be we do these like characters called pageant moms, and it's these two.
You meant
Southern
I
pageant moms named Terry and Annette. Did you talk about this?
No, I thought for some reason they meant another tiny, but I was confused.
Either's
but
fine.
still, you still answered it. You still did great. But we have this like mockumentary basically about these two pageant moms that are terrible mothers and sort of like best frenemies. So if anything, I think we would probably want to see, Terry and Annette take it all the way to the top.
Yeah, we love characters so much. But yeah, me and Shelby are actually working on a romantic comedy feature right now.
Oh, nice.
We're getting close, but it's not from one of our shorts. It's just like so me and Shelby have a little secret where we love reality TV. Actually, it's not a secret, but
a secret. But
Well, it's definitely not a secret now. You just told all of our listeners.
Yeah, true.
But basically the film is about a lady going on The Bachelor, and she does it intentionally to ruin the Bachelor's life. But it's like a funny romantic comedy, twists and turns,
Well, I'm imagining there's no point where she takes the Bachelor and shoves him up her ass.
No,
There isn't that point.
that wouldn't be a bad idea.
So, like, out of all the different hats that you guys wear when you're working on your shorts, like, you know, you're writing, you're directing, you're acting, like, what part of that process do you guys find like the most enjoyment?
I would say bits from each, actually. Like when we're coming up with ideas and different videos to make, we kind of like go on a whole brainstorming sesh, and those are really fun because when we're coming up with these certain ideas, like we just end up dying laughing, and when we know it's a good one when we can't stop laughing about an idea. So I feel like there's bits and pieces from each part of the process. Shelby she taught herself to edit, and she's really great at it. She taught me how to edit, so I'm getting better.
Good.
Oh, thanks. But there's definitely like some really great moments when we're putting something together after we've shot, when we're kind of working on it together, that are really fun, and like just putting it together is its own adventure in a way. What about you, Shelbs?
No, I thought that was a wonderful answer. I was just thinking about how when we first started like writing and making things, it was like kind of surprising to me that I felt like sometimes you write something and on the page you're like, oh my God, this is so funny. And then you shoot it and you're like, wait, this isn't that funny. And then you edit it and you're like, wait, now it is funny. Or we've shot things before where I'm like, this is not going to work. And then when we edit it, it finally comes together. Or we've shot things that when we're shooting, we're like, this is great. This is so funny. And then we edit it and we're like, no, it's not. So I would say there's ups and downs. And that was a learning curve, I think. That didn't answer the question, but it was a thought.
Yeah, it did. I also love when shooting, there's a lot of times where, you know, you get the giggles, and sometimes it's pretty uncontrollable, but it's fun and painful at the same time because you're like, we have to get this shot, but we can't help ourselves. So that's a little bit some bittersweet sweet moments.
I guess going off of that, would you ever want to go the Butt Boy route and do all those things for a feature film? Like, do you have any interest being the director and producer and writer and actor on something like that? Or is that what you're doing with your rom-com?
I wouldn't be opposed to that. I feel like that's kind of like the dream. But I also wouldn't be opposed to selling a script, you know, and letting other people take the reins. But I think there will be opportunities for us in the future to kind of wear all hats, like you said. Would two dudes like to see a Shelby and Kristina feature?
Oh,
We'd be there for it.
You would? Okay.
yeah, I think we both would be.
Sweet.
Yeah, wait, what did you guys think of the movie? You didn't even tell us. Like, are you going to be like, we hated the movie and now we're talking to these girls?
You know, we joked about that ahead of time because, like, we had the movie, we were watching it. I was like, this would suck. Like, if we're interviewing everybody and we're like, yeah, no, it's awesome, and then like as soon as the interview ends, we're like, this movie fucking sucks. I'm giving it an F. Like, but I wouldn't be too worried about that. Not to spoil it for the Swampies at home, because we always save our grading everything at the end, but Colin and I have said, just in our own text conversations, our own calls, like, this is the perfect movie for our show because we pride ourselves in like legitimate like film knowledge and critique, but also we are morons who tell dick and fart jokes. So it's like Butt Boy was made for us. Like this, it's like the perfect movie to fall into our lap.
It really was. It really was. And I mean, that's them too. So their film knowledge, especially Tyler, is like an encyclopedia of film. And I always have said that. But yeah, it's definitely a combo of those with still like that like millennial guy sense of humor, I would say.
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to thank you guys so much for taking the time to chat with us and talk about the movie and what you guys got going on. Is there anything that you guys want the Swampies at home to find you on? I know you have the YouTube channel. I know you guys are posting on Instagram all the time.
Yeah. They could check us out on the K.A. Cliffo and the Shelby Dash. Shelby Dash is your Instagram handle, right?
Yeah, it is. Just my name.
Full name. We will eventually start reposting or posting more videos on the YouTube once we get out of this core, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I think Instagram might be the best place to check us out.
We're pretty active on there. And then our YouTube also is just Shelby and Kristina. So, or you can search my name. I think it'll just come up too if you search Shelby Dash.
Thank you guys so much. This was awesome.
Thank you.
No, thank you for coming on the show. We really appreciate it.
Of course. I'm excited to listen to more episodes.
Me too, especially that first one.
Oh, yeah.
So we are.
Quick, Colin, we got to delete that.
So I guess we're technically Swampies now, right?
Oh, that would be a dream.
Woo!
We'll have to get you. We'll have to get you one of our shirts that says "I'm a filthy, stinking, no good Swampy."
Yes, I need that. I need that.
Yeah. Well, we'll have to see if we can make that happen for you guys. But no, we really do appreciate you taking the time to talk to us, and we look forward to seeing what you guys have coming next.
Awesome.
Yeah, so nice talking to you.
Yeah.